Everybody. We are here to continue working on the Experience Cloud site. As a reminder, this is my portfolio, and I'm going to teach you to make a simple Experience Cloud site. It will not start out looking like this. As a reminder, I started with a Trailhead playground, and you're going to go to the Setup menu, type in all sites, and find your site and go to the Builder. This is my Experience Cloud Builder. In the last video, we went over the components and the theme. One of the things that you can start with is a top image. In this particular one, this is a hero image. If I roll over, it says hero. A lot of them have that. That just means it spans the whole top of the page. I want to show you how to change the image. The first thing I did is I went to a free picture site and found a picture. When you're looking for pictures, you want to look for accessibility. That means if I took a picture similar to this one here with everything busy and I try to put words on it, it's very difficult to read. I did choose this one here. So we're going to go into the Builder. I've already downloaded it. And I'm going to click on this and I'm going to get my options right here. The first thing I want to do is change the background. I'm going to hit clear and I'm going to upload an image in which I had already found. I'm going to hit upload. I'm going to upload that image first. Sometimes you have to play around with your image to make it look right. See, this one actually, if I'm looking at it, the image over here, it's only showing me pieces of it. There's a couple things we can do. Right now it's on scale to fill, which is why you're not seeing the full image. I could say fit, but then you'll see what happens. It makes it smaller. I'm going to leave it to scale to fill. That's okay with me right now, but of course the words right here are over it. I have a couple things I'm going to do. First, I'm going to go to where it says content. If I didn't want any of this to show, I could just uncheck these boxes, but I do want them to show, but I want them in a different area. Let me just show you. If I took this off and this, it starts disappearing. Sometimes you only want a picture, and you can do that all the way down with the buttons, but I'm going to leave it on for now. We'll talk about those in a bit. I'm going to go to the layout, and the content is on the right, and I want it on the left. Now, the picture's not in the way. If I want to go back up here where it says scale to fill, we do have a few other options. You can play around with those, but for the image position, if I want more of that cell phone to show, I can start adjusting the image by saying, let's try top left. What happens? Well, that looks the same. Top right is going to look the same. Let's go to the bottom center, and now I see the phone. When I'm looking at this, I have to decide how I like the image to show. I personally like the succulent to show. I'm going to change that to top center. I notice now I have an area where I can put text, but the text is hard to see because of the color. If I go to content, caption color is right here. And just to make it easy, I'm going to change it to white. But if you know the exact RGB or hex code, you could put it right there. I want it fully white. And see how much more that stands out. So I'm going to change all of these. And this is something, when you change the colors, you can change back and forth. You can move around. If I use this up and down, it makes it translucent. See how it's making it lighter or darker. But right now, I just want it stark white because I really want it to stand out. And I'm going to go down and I can change all the text. And then I see two buttons. So we're going to say I want to keep the buttons. I'm going to close the content and I'm going to open up primary button. If I go like this, they disappear. You have to have the primary button if you want the secondary to show. I could change the color that I want of my button. I'm going to change it to that. I can also change the color around the outside of the button, or when it hovers. That means if I go over here and I hover, see how it changes? It's fun to do little effects when you decide what your colors that you want to use. There's a border that can go around it. For instance, I could put a black border around it. Now we can see a border around it. Lots of different things. I can change whatever I want here. I could say about me if I want, and then I could put the URL in. And right now, since I don't have a about me page, and I can choose to open it in a new tab. I do encourage you to play around with these. You can see how the The border changes, no border. You could make them square. You could take off the outside color. I could make it super round. And as far as the secondary button, if I remove that, then I only see one. But it's the same concept. You can have them or not. Not all the hero images are going to let you write on it, but if you do use Jepson, this is something you can do. I like to use that. I do want you to remember accessibility, because accessibility is the ability for everybody to see it. And if you had a very busy picture with words on it, it's not going to look good. If you find it hard to read, then people of different abilities will find it even harder to read. Let's just get rid of that secondary button. I can change it to either a search or a call to action. What happens if I change it to search is that, and I lose some of it. For the purposes of a portfolio, you can do this. You could completely remove the content and just have a picture too. That works well. You can make some adjustments here. The height, we can make it bigger. If I want more of that picture to show, I can do that. I just have to remember what it looks like overall. You hit preview. You can see it the way someone came to your site to see it. I think this particular one looks weird, cut off. Visually, you'd have to do what is best for you. I'm going to change the layout and change the height back down a bit to make it where that little piece of cell phone is not showing. There we go. Content width, and then you could start making these adjustments. Let's see what happens when we adjust this. The best way to learn Experience Cloud is to start doing this. See how the content moved over? I could actually have it go across. If I didn't have a succulent there on the right side, that would work. Or if I wanted to let it be a little bit wider where it gets closer, I can do that. And I like that, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to make sure everything is here. You can do an image overlay color. Again, these are things you should just play with and play with all these buttons. Generally, I don't like to adjust the width, just because that causes other problems. Under content, I want that to show. That's just a preference. For my title, I would put my name, because this is a portfolio, and then I'll see the changes as I go. I could put something under here. So there's a couple things I want you to remember about this video is when you put a hero picture in, play with all your options. They may look different depending on the template you're using, and get your top picture the way you want it first. That is all for this video. In the next video, we'll go into the navigation.